Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in once again for the Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur TV show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your Daily Vitamins. So as you're coming in, please be sure to hit that like button. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please feel free to go ahead and do so and hit the word all. Okay, hit the notification bell and the word all. Okay, so let's get into it. This story is absolutely heartbreaking. This 32-year-old woman went on a vacation and left a toddler at home alone for 10 whole days. So let's talk about it. Crystal Calendario, age 32, was sentenced Monday for the aggravated murder of her 16-year-old daughter, Jalen, in June of 2023. Now, the Ohio woman was sentenced to life over the death of the toddler, as she left the child home alone for 10 days last summer. So basically, this woman went out of town to Puerto Rico. Now, the sentencing comes after Candelario entered guilty pleas in February for one count of aggravated murder in connection with the death of her toddler and one count of endangering children, according to the online records. Candelario left the 16-month-old daughter unattended at her Cleveland home from June the 6th to June the 16th in 2023, according to prosecutors. Now, when she returned to the residence at around 8 a.m., she found her daughter unresponsive and then called the police, who later declared the toddler deceased at the scene. Jalen was discovered in a pack-and-play pen on a liner soiled with urine and feces, okay, with soiled blankets. This is all so sad. First of all, what was this woman thinking? What was she thinking? Other than that she's going to go out of town or go out of town and have a good time and party and leave this poor child home alone. And then she had the nerve to cry in court as if she's sorry. The only thing she's sorry about, in my opinion, is that she got caught and that she's going to have to now pay the price. Now, the toddler died of starvation and severe dehydration from pediatric neglect. This is what Dr. Elizabeth Mooney, the deputy of Cuyahoga County medical examiner, this is what she said. Okay, she testified to this in court. According to Mooney, the 16-year-old was emaciated, weighing 13 pounds, 7 pounds less than in her last year's doctor's visit, less than 2 months before. This is absolutely horrible. Now, following an investigation, Calendario was discovered to have traveled on vacation to Detroit and Puerto Rico as she left her toddler at home. She was arrested on June 17th and charged with murder and related criminal offenses. Cuyahoga County prosecutor Michael C. O'Malley said that Calendario's sentencing today, he says, we remember, or this is what he said at the sentencing. He says, today we remember Jalen, a beautiful baby girl who was taken from this world due to her mother's unimaginable selfishness. The thought of going on vacation for 10 days and leaving a child to starve to death in her pack-and-play is a new low in parental care. County Common Pleas Court Judge Brendan Sheehan told Calendario that she committed the ultimate betrayal. Calendario, who according to the outlet struggles with depression and other mental health issues, said in response, there's so much pain that I have in regards to the loss of my baby Jalen. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't feel any sympathy for this woman. And they say she had mental health issues or whatever. But she had enough wherewithal to go out of town, to go have a good time and leave that child there. And here's the thing. Now, if she went to Detroit and Puerto Rico, she likely didn't travel by herself. So whomever she may have gone with, did they know, in fact, that she left her daughter at home alone? I just have a whole lot of questions. She goes on to say, I'm extremely hurt about everything that happened. I am not trying to justify my actions, but nobody knew how much I was suffering and what I was going through. God and my daughter have forgiven me. I know she didn't try to bring God into this, and let alone her poor child who's now deceased. According to local news station WEW News, Calendario was terminated from her position as building substitute at Cleveland Elementary School Citizens Academy in Glenville after her arrest last year. This is all so crazy. Let me just go to the news clip, because stuff like this just really gets under my skin. First of all, she went out of town and left this child there for 10 whole days. What did she expect to happen? What did she expect to find when she returned home? Did she think the baby was just going to be staying, in the pen playing, having a good time? Is that what she thought? Well, of course not. She couldn't have thought that. For someone to go without food and water for 10 whole days, that's absolutely insane. What was this woman thinking? She has to be a whole demon as far as I'm concerned. And then sitting up in court crying and acting like she's so sorry and that she loved Jalen so much. Why didn't you take her with you? Okay, why didn't she just take this poor child with her or get someone in the family, anyone, to babysit her while she was gone on a whole vacation? Yeah, she needs to be under the prison as far as I'm concerned. Please pay attention.
Life in prison without the possibility of parole after she left her baby at home and flew to Puerto Rico. Judge Brendan Sheehan told 32-year-old Crystal Candelario she committed the ultimate act of betrayal.
Candelario pleaded guilty to endangering children and aggravated murder in February, 8 months after the death of her 16-month-old daughter, Jaylene. Prosecutors pointed to doorbell video showing Candelario leaving her home without Jaylene on June 4th. She returns 2 days later and then takes off again that night with a suitcase. Pictures appear to show her enjoying time in Puerto Rico before heading to Detroit. She doesn't reappear outside her house until June 16th.
The thought of this child dying every day while she's having fun, humanity can't stomach that. And those are the actions that need to be punished. She abandoned.
Absolutely deplorable, okay? She left the poor child home alone to fend for herself, and the child passed away. And now she wants to shed tears in court. I find it also darn interesting. But hold on, because there's another devil who did something also heinous, okay, to her child. Now, let me pull her picture up on the screen. Everyone, please be sure to get those likes up. Thank you in advance. Now, look at this beautiful little girl. Beautiful little girl. Now, she's deceased, okay, and her mother is also getting a life sentence. Please pay attention. And so here's what happened. Mom, a 4-year-old girl, was beaten and strangled, okay? The little girl was beaten and strangled. Now the mother has been sentenced to life in prison for her murder. Tiana Robinson pled guilty to a charge of aggravated murder. The mother of a 4-year-old girl who was beaten and strangled to death has been sentenced to life in prison, as she should be. Now, Tiana Robinson, age 28, pleaded guilty to aggravated murder and was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 30 years. She shouldn't be allowed parole ever, okay? There should be no possibility of parole as far as I'm concerned. She beat this beautiful child to death, okay? At the end of the day, sometimes, in my opinion, these people should actually get the death penalty. They should get exactly what they put out. But let me continue. Now, so the possibility of parole after 30 years over the killing of her daughter, Nala Miller, in April of 2021, according to the Hamilton County prosecutor, Melissa Powers. Powers shared the news nearly 3 years since former Hamilton County prosecutor Joseph T. Dieters announced that the Ohio mother was charged with 1 count of aggravated murder with death penalty specification, 2 counts of murder, 1 count of felonious assault, and 1 count of endangering children. A communications director for Powers' office confirmed Robinson's plea deal. The mother could have faced the death penalty. Yeah, and she should have. And so should the first one, Candelaria. She should have also gotten a death penalty sentence because that was just heinous. Can you imagine the torture that child endured for those 10 days, not having anything to eat or drink, no one to change her diaper? Are you serious? This is all so sick. Now, examinations revealed that Nala had been strangled and severely beaten with injuries that included a broken arm and brain injuries consistent with being shaken, according to prosecutors. In a statement given to People, Powers said this was a horrific and unthinkable crime. My heart breaks for Nala, just imagining what she was forced to endure. Given the current state of law in Ohio, ensuring this defendant will be locked up for the rest of her life represents the best possible outcome that we could hope for. Now, Dieters previously announced Robinson's death penalty indictment in May of 2021, noting that the woman had beaten and strangled her daughter until her heart stopped. And she did this at their Springfield Township home on April 13th of 2021. Now, the prosecutor said that Robinson beat Nala after she urinated on herself when she was left at home alone. First of all, why would she leave a 4-year-old at home alone? And not only did she leave the child there by herself, she's going to beat her for urinating on herself. That's why she took this child's life. Wicked devils, I'm telling you. Now, the outlet reported that psychologists found Robinson was not competent to stand trial 4 times in both 2021 and 2022. When she stayed at a psychiatric hospital, Summit Behavioral Health Care. She had reportedly been diagnosed with major depressive disorder and post-traumatic stress disorder. Nala eventually died when she was removed from life support on April the 21st of 2021. At the time, Dieters revealed that investigators believe the girl had been abused for months. I'm sorry, she may have been suffering from depression. Okay, she may have been suffering from PTSD, but at the end of the day, she knew right from wrong. I'll guarantee you that. She wasn't that mentally unstable. Okay, please pay attention. So goes on to say, at the time, Dieters revealed that investigators believe the girl had been abused for months before she died. Nala's death was ruled a result of strangulation and blunt force trauma, resulting in significant internal injuries. Now, according to Cincinnati's ABC affiliate, Nala weighed 23 pounds when she was admitted into the hospital in 2021. Okay, a 4-year-old. The average weight of a 4-year-old girl is between 28 to 44 pounds. Now, the outlet also reported that Robinson initially called Springfield Township Police Department herself to report that her daughter had passed out. Then later admitted to punching and strangling the child. According to the outlet, doctors found signs of prolonged physical abuse, and Dieters said that they found a burn on the child's hand, a broken arm, and internal bleeding, as well as months of malnutrition. So I'm sorry. They want to sometimes make excuses for these people when they do these wicked, evil things and say they had depression and all of this. Well, depression isn't a mental illness as far as I'm concerned. Depression is something that many people go through because you may be having trauma, or you are experiencing trauma, or you may be going through something. At the end of the day, you still, when you're depressed, know the difference between right and wrong. Okay, and at the end of the day, she could have gotten help for herself, going to therapy, sought counseling, whatever, send her child to live with someone else if the child was being too much for her during this stressful time. But at the end of the day, what you don't get to do is malnourish this child, starve them, and then beat them, okay, to the point that she had internal bleeding. And there's no telling how long she was bleeding internally. And also, remember, they said that this was prolonged abuse. She had wounds that were likely healing from past abuse. So this wasn't her first time, is all I'm saying. So they go on to say that Fox affiliate also reported, citing court documents, that Rensley Washington, a man identified as Robinson's boyfriend, was indicted on 2 counts of obstruction of justice and was previously sentenced to 12 months in prison after he pleaded guilty. He reportedly told investigators that the child fell off a scooter. This is all so sad. I have never understood how anyone could hurt a little kid so badly, especially the child's own mother. That's what the former prosecutor said at the time of her arrest and first charges, or when she was first charged. Violence like this goes against every instinct we're born with as humans and parents. These cases are exactly why I worked so hard in 1997 to help pass legislation making the purposeful murder of a child under the age of 13 a death penalty eligible offense. Okay, and she would have gotten the death penalty had she not taken a plea deal. Quite frankly, I wish she had. And as far as Candelario, I wish she had too, because both of them are nothing but devils. To think that they did these heinous things to their own children. Okay, so anyway, I'm just sick and disgusted. We have a whole lot of stories coming out about parents doing heinous things to their children. How many times have I reported on it in this year alone? And we're only into the 3rd month. Okay, please pay attention. Drop me a comment to let me know what you think about all of this. Until next time, beloveds, I'll talk to you all again soon.